Well, howdy friends. We're back at the old garage here. Welcome back. It's Bruce here and Vintage Drum Restoration Garage. And one of our subscribers here, one of our friends here, wanted to know something about the handles on a Gene Krupa Super Radio King, commonly known as the clamshell throw-off. The arm on that, they commonly break off. And so I thought I'd show you what I do, and maybe this can help others. So I just make my own handles. So check it out. Let me show you real quick. Okay, this is your common Super Radio King throw-off. One side of it. This is the side with the, this is an original arm for it, and this divoted end goes in here, and when it turns it brings the clamshell outward to kind of tighten the snares up a little bit. And then I wanted to show you what happens. These arms break off right here at this point, and you're left with this part. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you what I do to repair these. I find some stock like this, round stock. This is an old cymbal arm. I think it's a MIJ rod that's roughly the same size as the Radio King arm. This might be just a hair thicker, but it'll work. You could even put your existing arm back on if you've got it. A lot of times they get lost. Like this one here, I welded on, previously, but I don't know. This isn't, because the original one would have had the line going through it or split. So this isn't original. Oh, this is an original one that I brazed back on there. Okay, so you can do that, or you can, if you don't have the rod, you just take some of this rod. Maybe you go down to a dig through your parts. Maybe you got some of this rod, or go down to a scrap metal yard and you just have to find some of this. Sometimes you'll find it in nickel or chrome. And so what I do is I measure what I need here. So I'll take an original one, and you figure it needs to measure about a total of 2 3/8. So I'll cut this off in the vise at the appropriate angle. And because I don't really need this rod here, I'm not going to be using it, so I don't care. And I'll just make a mark on it, and we'll chop it up. 2 3/8 is what we need. 2 7/8 is what we want. Sorry about that. 2 7/8. So I'll make my mark on here, and these Milwaukee black fine point pens are pretty good if you need like a good marking tool, especially for woodworking. These are great. So we got that, and you'll notice on an original one that there's an angle cut in it, so it looks like about a 45-degree angle. So I'll go ahead and cut it off at a 45-degree angle or thereabouts. Okay, so we've got that cut off now. And got like a pretty roughly a 45 degrees. And I'll take it over to the grinder, clean it up just a little bit. Lightly go around the edges here. That way there's no burrs sticking out. That looks pretty good now. Go back over here and take this rod out of here. I'm using more of that. And what I thought we'd do is, rather than using brazing rod, I thought we'd use silver solder on this one just for, so we don't get a lot of so we can buff it out and it'll look like there's plating on it still. So we need to figure out our angle. As you can see, the handle has to be at a slight angle. So once you figure that out, you mark it on there, just stack them up. Oh, whoops, you couldn't see that. I stacked these up, and now I can draw my angle on here. Right here. Now I got my angle drawn on there. So I know basically what way that handle goes on there. I mean, is this going to look perfect? No, it's not going to. But it's going to do the trick. So I'm just going to get this thing about where I want it. Let's see here. I want it about like that. You know what I might do is cut a slot in this thing, just to get myself something to slide that part into. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Cut a slot in here. Oops, I keep hitting this thing. There, I've got a little slot cut in it, and I'm going to cut another one beside it. To widen it out. Sorry about that. Okay, so look at, here's a, I think it's a 50s Slingerland catalog that shows this particular Throwoff that we're dealing with here. And they call this the new Slingerland Super Gene Krupa Radio King. And then, you know, there's your Throwoff. And oh, and it shows the extension arm in here, which is always missing. I've seen a few of them on drums, but notoriously they are missing. So this is the throw-off we're dealing with here, and I just wanted to show you that and clear up any misconception of what these are originally called. We call them clamshell throw-offs today, but that's what they were originally called. Okay, so I had a little interruption there. Wifey needs something and a question answered. Okay, so what I'm using is a real small file. It's real thin. I'm trying to widen this groove I'm making in here. See how it fits in there? And I'm trying to widen it. So that's what I'm doing here. So that part will slip in there, and when I'm welding it, it'll really stay in place. So look at that. Now it's right in there. See how that's right in there? It fits right in the groove. I don't have to question, is it going to stay in place? So here's what I did. I made a little groove in it. You can see it slips in and out of that groove. So if you don't have one of those files, you'll have to do it with a hacksaw blade, and that's not fun. So I'll make this side out a little bit wider. It's not slipping in there. All right. What we're going to do is, okay, that's slipping in there pretty good now. Yeah. So it's in both sides. See that? Here's the other side. It's in there. So when I weld it, or silver solder it in this case, you won't see any of those slots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get rid of this roundness here now. So I'll put it on this here. Take a little ball peen hammer. I just flatten this on this anvil here. So here's the original one. I'm going to get it to look just like it. So okay. So here's what we got here. There's the original one here, and here's this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it real quick and Let me get my torch ready and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we've got our torch. We don't want to have this thing too hot, and we don't want to have it too cool either. So, fine line. And when we're silver soldering, you want to heat up your solder here on the end here so you can put it in the flux. Put it in the flux, and then you got your white flux on there. Now I'm just going to heat up this arm, get it all ready for soldering. Got a little bit there. Okay, we got a problem here. This thing's moving. Second here. Okay, we've got that side done. I flipped it over here. Now I'm going to put some more flux on the old rod. And I'm going to heat it up. And we'll just see how the plating looks when we're done. Is it going to look perfect? No. Alright, let me see here. I've got to get this straightened out a little bit. Now I'm going to stick something underneath there to keep it from dropping when I weld it. Let me straighten this thing out here. Where's that hammer? Yeah, it looks pretty straight there now. Now, as far as silver soldering these, I've never done it. I tend to like to do brazing, but this is just an experiment to see if we can get the plating to look decent when we're buffing it out. And are you going to always be able to tell it was brazed or soldered? Sure. But at least we can try to make it as good as we can look. As it can look, sorry. All right. Now, I'm going to do a little bit to the underside here. I'm trying to fill up the hole like the original one looks. And that'll give it a real solid foundation. Okay. What we'll do is we'll let that cool off a little bit. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll go put that in water real quick. All right, we put that in water. Let me, all right, now I've ground it down. I've gotten most of the, here's the front side that you'll see. I've got most of the excess silver solder off there. And now I'm going to take it over to the buffer and see what we've got. Okay, now these are the two original ones here, and this is the one I worked on. I've buffed it out. I mean, look, I've only spent about 20 minutes of my time on this, working on this whole thing. And I've got a working handle. If you can find a brand new one, great. But this is going to get your drum working, and that's the idea of this video, just to give you a way to repair your drum, make it work, and it looks decent on there. It goes on the Throwoff just fine. This is a nickel part, but it, you know, it fits right in there, sits at the angle you want. And, you know, the knob goes on there like that, see? So there it is, and you got yourself a working handle. So that's what I do. I'm sure someone with better skills at brazing and silver soldering would do a way better job than me. I don't consider myself that great at it, but I can get a job done. So anyway, there's a little bit of help for you. If that helps, put your thumbs up. All right? All right, thanks, friends. Thanks for visiting the Vintage Drum Restoration Garage. And this is your old pal Bruce saying cheers. Take care.